Hey y'all, okay, so I wanted to make this late night video. Earlier I made a post about this movie called Brokedown Palace. I think this today came out in 1999. And I saw that movie years ago, and I liked it so much that I just watched it over. But I haven't seen it in years though. But after I first saw it, I was like, wow, and I just kept watching it. In the Bible, it says, "There's no greater love than a man that would lay down his life for a friend," which is what the Messiah did. He came down here. He basically sacrificed himself and went through so much torment and degradation and just abuse, basically. Even though I told you I don't believe that they put the crown on him and they beat him like that. Come on. And like I said before, people can believe whatever they want to believe. This is what I feel and what I believe. I just don't believe that it's like God is the same God today as he was yesterday. And then you look at him as we follow in his footsteps. Rebirth, death. People leave us for dead. We rise up even more powerful before. We still have a lot of people to come against us, blah, 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 blah. The way he was treated, real chosen ones, real empaths go through the same thing. So when you stand up and when he stood up and he came out here to give us a word or whatever, it's like he didn't have to do that, but he loved us so much that he kept going or whatever. And he knew the betrayal was coming. He got betrayed, but it's like he risked it or whatever just because he loved us so much. So we'll just say that. But with us, like for example, with me as a messenger, it's very hard being a messenger. It's like and I always kind of put in what I went through with the messages. If you can relate, you can relate. But it's just when you are stand up as a messenger to call the real truth, you deal with a lot of backlash because people don't want to be revealed. They come up with petty stuff. Look, if you notice, a lot of people that try to call me out for something, it's always petty stuff. It's never nothing like really just because they can't say nothing about what I'm doing or whatever. When a person changes and they spiritually elevate and they're awakened, it's not that they go around acting like they miss perfect, because that's what you choose to believe and that's what you choose to see, because nobody is perfect with the Most High. But if you knew what the person was before they changed, then it would be like an admiration. That's why I try to talk so much about it. And it wouldn't really, well, some people, like I said before, they just have an envious spirit. Because certain people, they know your past and they don't want to see you elevate or whatever. It is what it is. But for people who don't know me or whatever, it's like, you ever heard that saying, if you knew me, when? So you don't know what a person overcame and what God is blessed with. That's why I said, when you try to play God in somebody's life, as far as people and I'm talking about in general, because I have a lot of enemies, I have a lot of people being hidden from me, no support. People, nobody in my family can support her. You doing good. Nobody, not my mom, nobody said I like your videos, nothing. When you deal with something like that and people are plotting against you, plotting your death, whatever, what it does is it can kind of turn you cold-hearted. I'll always be nice and kind-hearted and humble. But what it does is when you see different people coming at you and you're not doing that to nobody, it can kind of turn off your heart chakra and kind of make you kind of like not trust nobody. It's like anybody coming at you, you're like, oh, okay, you'll be nice, but it's like cut and that's it. You don't trust anybody because you automatically feel that anybody coming in is just gonna snake you, because that's all I see is snakes. It's certain readers or whatever, like I said before, that have stayed solid and haven't changed. And let me just go back to what I said earlier. When I said I went to a reader and she said that this was months back or whatever, and that a reader had said in her reading that somebody is being nice and you can't trust this person. I'm not talking about nobody on my page. When she said that or whatever, and this is months back, the person already betrayed and lied to her reading. I'm not talking about nobody I have on my channel now, and nobody's saying nothing. I just like to clarify stuff because sometimes I leave out a lot of details, so we'll just say that. But yeah, just constant. And then this is the thing or whatever. People believe that you're a doormat if you show a person respect or whatever. It's not being a doormat. It's people if a person gets taken advantage of or whatever, or not treated right, how is it that person's fault? It's the other person's fault. So you're not a doormat. It's just that it's evil, manipulative people that like to play games and like to do certain things to empaths or whatever. Because only a weak-minded person would do that. Because if you usually find that a lot of people who are bullies are people that are getting bullied or getting manipulated or something like that. It's never gonna be a respectable person manipulating or trying to bully an empath. It always got to be somebody that's low vibrational, ignorant, or evil. We'll just say that. So that's one of the things that I just kind of go back and forth with. I just now, or when I'm awake, people can be mean, and it's like I just look over past it. But now it's like I still look at you, but I just categorize you a certain type of way. I just categorize you as just and then it's different types of levels of betrayal or whatever, a snake. And you can't really betray nobody that you're not cool with, y'all not friends. We'll just say that you just show your true character. But when people show you who they really are, and I mean like all against the grain of stuff that you would never ever do, then it's like you talking, but it's kind of like I just see you as a devil or whatever. I see you, and it's anything that you say after you snake somebody or lie on somebody or something like that. It's like it's up in the air. How can a person ever trust you again? That's why I said the true character of people. Anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. I get off subject a lot. But let me go back to that, Jesus give up his life for a friend. So you see in that movie, she was willing to sacrifice, even though they were both innocent. They didn't really show truly what happened with the drugs or whatever in that movie, the setup. But I believe it was the guy that they met in Broken Down Palace, the guy they met, and he planted on them. But she loved her friend so much that she was willing, and she saw her friend was such a good person, that she was willing to give up her life and take her life in prison, plus her friend's life, just to see her friend go. That's true love. That's a true friend. That's true friendship. Somebody that has your back. Somebody that's willing to sacrifice for you or whatever. Just like the Most High did. Just like messengers do. And I'm not the only whistleblower. Whistleblowers and truth tellers, it's whistleblowers. Somebody they're exposing darkness or something that are secrets that people don't want to be hidden or whatever. But when you doing stuff like that and you have a pure heart, you're automatically protected. But there's so many people coming against you, and you see all the people, demonic people that's coming against my page and doing stuff like this. So it's like if I keep going or whatever, it's like number one, if God calls me to keep doing so. That's why I try to tell people are trying to project onto you. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, she's crazy," or she's on drugs or whatever. But I'm on drugs or whatever. I'm just saying that like what they're saying, because I'm not. But if I'm on drugs and stuff, but you can clearly see the magic on my page, then that should let you know something or whatever, that I wasn't lying about that, and I'm not a liar. So that's what I'm saying. People, it don't matter. People, it's a quote I put up. They say people see you walk on water and say you can't swim. So people they'll keep on trying to downplay you, downplay. They'll do whatever they can just to make you feel unimportant or whatever. But in these days, you gotta pump yourself up. You gotta make yourself feel important and cheer yourself on, because it's very, very, very few people that'll have your back. When you're a true messenger, when you're truly getting gang stalked, and I mean gang stalked in a way where when people are truly getting gang stalked in isolation spells and stuff like that, they're not really, it's like a ritual or whatever, and magic being worked to make you invisible, make nobody help you, make nobody believe you and stuff. And this is what I've heard, and not just what I've heard that this is what they were doing, the readers, but I've experienced it. So if it's acting out in my life and I'm seeing it, then what they're saying is calling out the truth. So when you deal with something like that, when you're in isolation and being gang stalked, you're not going to be all friendlied up and hanging out with this person. And I'm not saying if you hang out with people that you're not really a target or nothing like that, but it's the isolation. It's like you're especially me, my page. Look at what I'm calling out. Look at what I'm doing, what I'm saying. I get a job. They do major try to cause conflict with a job. They think somebody's interested in you, somebody around them, or a spouse, or people on your end of your family trying to block you from love. That's why I say people are really, really strange. When I hear stuff in readings, and I'm not talking about that narc, I'm talking about when I hear stuff in readings, there's certain family members, they don't want you to have your house, they want you to be big, living with them or something like that, or they don't want you to have love, and people doing spells to make you gay. When you hear certain things or whatever like that it's like that's like weirdo demonic vibes, because there's no way when you don't think like that, and you know you're a good, righteous, respectful person, or just in general, if you're just a real person, when you hear stuff like that first initially, before knowing about demonic people, they just have a spirit in them that makes them do that, you think, why would a person in your family want to do spells? And that's like some incestuous type stuff. Even if you're not sleeping with that person, that's real demonic and weird. I just can't see myself having a cousin or whatever, and I seen her struggle a lot in her whole life. Always a good person, but then she finally levels up and have an awakening. She online talking about God, and have a house and a car, whatever, home place, just whatever. And then I'm doing magic, and she be the guy that love her, and then I'm doing magic to break them up. And there's people that just be sitting there in the dark in the background just doing silly stuff, and then every day going over to a house and see if the magic works. The only way you would do something like that is if you're delusional, crazy, and you have a psychological problem. And really, I just cancel all that out and just say people have demons, because it just doesn't even make any type of sense. And then what makes me think about it is like these people just been able to get away with it. It's like, yeah, a lot of it has eased up, but some of them still doing it or whatever. And if I was to ever get a lot of money or something like that, I would invest in a program to hire like investigators or whatever, and I would go into it and look at people that's being gang stalked and stuff, or hear them talking about it, find out where they live, and just act like I'm one of the gang stalkers and have all them people like arrested or whatever. In my opinion, gang stalkers should be put to death, because and it may sound silly to some people, but it's like they just sit there and watch you all day, do magic, stop it. It's just like whatever you try to get, they gonna try to take it. So that's what I'm saying. People, they just do silly demonic stuff, and when you constantly doing stuff like that, trying to bring down, and you see what a person is, or who a person is, or what their messages are, and you watch them so you know they're not lying. Even if you had a phone tapped or whatever, you doing certain things, look at the people that you're doing it against. But it's just like they do like real silly, just crazy stuff. So we'll just say that. But that's what I want to say. I don't have an anger problem. Empaths are very sensitive to energy, and people can think whatever they want. I really don't give a if. Anybody who has gotten gang stalked for real, not gonna get online and be like, a person is angry, or this person sees you as angry or bitter or whatever. That's why I always tell people, never be too quick to write a person off as crazy or angry or whatever, because God will put you in that same position so you can feel exactly what that person feels. So that's what I'm saying. Anybody, you can follow the stock there every day, people watching, people sending people up to you, try to get you them. You don't know. It's like they set it up so that you just totally just don't trust anybody. You just want to be isolated. And then when people play with conflict magic, it's like anybody you go to, you think like they can do a spell and make you, but that only goes with low vibrational people, because it's no way that I would meet somebody and somebody on my end could do a conflict spell on me and make me dislike that person. There's no way that they could do that. They probably could do a spell on somebody that's not connected to God and make us go back and forth or whatever. Then I'm going to say something back if I feel disrespected. But spells can affect me physically. They can affect my mood, maybe a little bit, like, you know, especially when you're going through, when you first go through it or whatever, and you're like, there ain't nobody helping, you don't know the truth about everybody. That can cause a little bit of depression. They can do certain things physically or whatever, or maybe even love spells or whatever to a certain extent. Confusion spells are meant with somebody just being quiet and playing mind games, gaslighting, stuff like that. But nobody could ever, in my whole entire life, do a spell to make me go at somebody, hate somebody that I know had my back or something like that. And I don't like talking about that dark. I'm just saying, just in general, or whatever. It don't matter. I'm just saying in general. If I'm interested in somebody, it's no way somebody gonna make me do a spell on it. No way nobody will make me do. And my family would do a spell on me and make me go against a family member, set them up for dead. It's just like a weird, strange vibe, you know? And it's like, I feel it, and then I'll go to a reader and they'll call it out before I even talk about it online, or if I do or don't. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I have a real agitation if I know, or if I hear that money is being hidden from me, and I've been struggling for a while and stuff. Not struggling now. I'm okay now. But if I always had to struggle and there's some money being hidden from me and nobody ever told me, And nobody has to break that down and make it seem like nobody should have to break certain things down and make it seem like, oh, I need my, no, it's like I just always tell people, if you had money being hidden from you or whatever, then the only way that a person wouldn't give it to you is if they want to take it for themselves. And I got a real strange call, and I don't like talking about my job, but I got a real strange call at my job last week. And I think it was like a week and a half or whatever. And I went in whenever I made that video. And I went in, and there was a guy in the office just making it seem like he wanted to give me some money or whatever. Just randomly. I got called to the office, and he called. I thought it was through my job, but he just wanted to make it seem like he was setting up something so that I can get, he was talking about life insurance money, but he was making it seem like, you know, I'm with your job or whatever, and we handle this, we can give you this or whatever, but, you know, just what do you want us to take out of your check every week? And he was named, so he said, okay, so with this, and he named how much the life insurance was. He was like, how much do you want to take out for this, blah, 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 and if you ever die, who do you want to leave your money to? So my thing is, and I don't care who gets offended, that's like, and something was just nudging me. Whenever something feels off, my body will feel off, and just something will feel real weird. And I was like, oh nah. First I was like, oh nah, this gonna come out my check, my weekly check for work every day. I was like, nah, and then just something felt off. So if this is my thing, I only talk to one person in my family or whatever, just one, and now and for like the last couple of months. So if somebody is in cahoots, this is how my psychic intuition works. If somebody in cahoots to take me out, and money being here from me, and they've been tapping my phone or watching me or whatever, because I've heard multiple things, cameras in here, whatever. If they doing that, and then they ask me who do I want to leave my money to, and the only person they would know I would leave it to is that person. So that's the only way that would make me think the person is connected or whatever. So that's why I just say, people, when you say you a psychic and you don't read cards, people automatically think that they're like, what? Even if they see that I'm intelligent online, it's like, no, I can't look at somebody and they walk up to me and I literally see what happened to them when they was growing up. No, I know how to read certain people. I can look at certain people when they come up to me and just tell if they being manipulative or deceptive. I just can tell. It's not even just always about the eyes. It's just how they present themselves, their spirit, how they talk, how they act. It's just, when you get backstabbed so much and betrayal and this and that, and it's like, and then you stand up by yourself, and then people keep betraying you back to back to back, and then you kind of stand on your own. You have to fight for yourself. It's like you start seeing the true character of people. You have to go through so much in order to be able to read people better. Just like with, I'm giving an example. Okay, like hustlers or whatever, they have a certain type of psychic intuition. When you're a hustler, and I've been around a lot of hustlers, and you constantly like, if you selling dope, you have workers or whatever, when you deal out different drugs, you have different personalities that come to you. You know, if you have to watch out for the cops or whatever, you have to watch out for people that's trying to jip you, bring you fake money. You gotta watch out people trying to rob you. You learn how to read people. You'll be like, oh, this dude coming over here, he's trying to get over on me or whatever, trying to, then you look at somebody else, are they trying to be around me because they think I got money, or certain girls or something. It's like this, but that's psychic intuition, but it's you've learned how to read people through experience, right? So that's the same thing I have. Only difference with me is that I trust my intuition, and I've done a lot of spiritual research on certain things. When you read on certain things like Aleister Crowley, or what people who practice this, what do they believe, what's the religion, so when you do that and you know the knowledge of certain things of what they practice, and then you also just by looking at people, I can know how to put certain situations together. It's like that's using your psychic intuition. So it's not, you don't have to be no highly spiritual person like me in order to be able to be a psychic and use your intuition. Regular, if you've been on the streets or just in general, if you just a person that been through a lot, then you know how to read people, you know how to recognize deception in people. So I just want to say that I tried to make this video a little bit longer, but I just wanted to be a little bit. I'm in my bed chilling. I'm about to get ready to look at some videos online, so that's all I wanted to say for now. Have a good night, y'all.